you. I have a buddy that I'm trying desperately to finish. This is like the first couple days of January, and this is a buddy for December with Paula at Coloring Mum. And we do a lot of scary, spooky Mythagoria type pages. And yes, that's Jack. Of course he gets up and wants to go play once I start talking. Just ignore him. So in Mythagoria Night Terrors Return, which is one of the newer ones, this is Shelley Carroll, who's my favorite Mythagoria artist. We were doing Krampus. So I have finished the whole right side. And I thought I would show you how I did a few things in here. One is the snow, both the bloody snow and just the regular snow, because folks just really balk at snow. Snow's scary because, you know, it's white. How do you color it? And then I think I'm going to show a little bit of these ornaments, perhaps. Not sure. Definitely gonna explain how I made this the tail and the antlers. All right, let's get started. So, snow. If you notice, yep, Jack has a bone. He's going to settle down now. If you notice, I made this snow with gray shading. Now, the shading, really, you're not going to color the snow. Snow's very easy to color. You're just going to color the shadows. The shadows can be shades of pink. They can be shades of blue or shades of green, or shades of whatever you want. Purples look great. Purples and pinks look great. Whatever you want, but you're going to need some lights, some mediums, and some darks for that kind of shading. This shading I did was even, excuse me while I move the water, about ready to knock it over. This shading I did was even easier in that I just used one gray. And then we're talking alcohol markers here. Alcohol markers or water-based markers would be your best bet for this. I could go in with darker grays in here, and maybe I will. Let's grab one. Let's see. I'm using neutrals. Where's a darker neutral? All right. So I'm using neutral 2 in Copic. Here's a neutral 4 in Copic. I only use Copics because they're the only ones there where none of the pens yellow. Plus I've been using them forever. I've had them forever. So see, you can add more depth of shadow in here if you wanted to. Like this. And then go back in with your light or medium if you're using 3. I don't have much of the neutrals. I have warms and cools, and for some reason I use neutral on this one, so I'm just going to blend it in with the other neutral, with neutral 2. And then that'll dry and it'll blend real nice together. So that gives an even darker feel to the snow. You want to think about what is the feeling of your paper. Now, my page is a monster with blood also. So my snow I want to be kind of scary. I could have used browns and made it look kind of dirty, but I want it to be just kind of monotone and scary. If I added pinks or some kind of sweet, fun color, purples, it wouldn't work with this scary Krampus. So I'm going to add grays. And I'm liking this darker shade. So I'm going to add a little bit more over here. And I find it's easier, and most of the tutorials that you find will tell you the same thing, is to put the light down first on everything, then add the medium, then add the dark, then go back over everything with the light again, just to blend it all together. That's kind of the standard way of blending alcohol markers. Oh, I didn't blend this one in. Yep, there's Jack. Right on cue. Is this the lighter one? Yes. When they're wet, they look darker than they are. You just have to trust the pens, trust the process. Alcohol markers look a little different when they dry. But once you use them for a bit, you'll get used to them. Let's put some shading underneath this, what's this called? Top. Paula had to tell me. I didn't know what that was. And you kind of, I don't like to have like solid lines. I mean, this is nature. Nature doesn't have solid lines. And pro tip, there is a Panda Fly white gel pen, but you can color white gel pen. Did you know that? I didn't. I mean, someone just pointed that out to me. You can dab color on top of, you don't want to rub because it is water-based and you might reactivate it, but you can dab color on top of white gel pen and make it a little, give it a little color. So around here I might just want to dab because that's a lot of white gel pen. Isn't that cool? In fact, I think I'll dab a little bit darker up on the edges. Now that's cool. Yeah, I don't want it to look like dots, but that really makes that skull pop, doesn't it? I do like that. Let's put some dark in here. Now, you could probably tell that I've never done some of these things before that I'm showing you, but you've got to practice. I hear a lot of people say, oh, I'm going to keep this as a practice book, and that's great if you've got books that you don't really like and you just want to practice in them, but why not practice on the page you like? Anything can be fixed with acrylic. Acrylic goes over everything, remember? And so if I really screwed up, I could go over this with acrylic. Whoops, this is the dark one. I meant to shade with the dark one. So then you take the light one and you blend it out and you accept that you're just going to have more shadows on this spot. And kind of make it equal. I mean, as long as you make it look intentional, nobody ever knows you made a mistake. And if it doesn't look good, it doesn't look good. I mean, just turn the page. If you get to the end of this, I mean, what I suggest is stick it out. Finish the page. Finish the page. Keep working on it. Don't abandon it because every page goes through multiple ugly stages. And just keep going. Even if you don't really have a vision for it, just keep going. Things will evolve. Things will, not that end, this end. Is this the dark one? Yes. Things will come through. You'll start, well, maybe this will work, or well, maybe this will work, or well, maybe this will work. And pretty soon, you might find something you really like, and it may be something you've never done before. And that's really the only way to grow. Don't be afraid to practice in your good books. That's the best paper to practice on. Don't be afraid to try new things in your Hannah Carlsons. I mean, that's fantastic paper. Don't be afraid to try new alcohol marker techniques in your Mythagorias and Mythographics, especially those old Mythographics. That paper was the best. They've gone thinner and cheaper a little bit. Still has, I mean, this is a brand new one. It's still good paper, but if you look at the old ones that had the hidden objects, it's really thick paper. Unfortunately, you have to deal with hidden objects, but they offer a great opportunity to practice new techniques on how to blend things in and cover things up. I am liking that. Doesn't that look better than when I first started? I like that. Yep, that wasn't at all what I was planning to do, but that happened. And why not? All right, so that looks better. So let's add some shade to this bottom part then, since we're liking the shade. And then we'll start from scratch on the other side, because the other side hasn't had anything in it. It's just the paper. I haven't even started. And I did this on purpose. For one thing, I was kind of experimenting, so I was only working on one side because I wasn't really sure what I was doing. And then for the other reason, once I got going and I really liked what was happening, I wanted to show you guys, give you some confidence about snow. I don't know how to color snow. I just play. Now this is all white gel pen, so I'm just dabbing the color on to see what happens. I don't want it to look like a raccoon tail. Oh well, now it looks like a raccoon's tail. I like that a lot. And I think it really should be darker up here where he's squatting over the snow. That's great. All this is alcohol marker. The only thing other than alcohol marker that's on this page is some gel pen outlining some of the details in those ornaments and the tail. That's it. So I haven't used any pencil on this. It's just blending with alcohol markers, and you can do it too. Okay, so here we are with snow that I've gone to here with the basic snow, and that's it. So what I think I want to do is add a little bit more bloody snow right in here, and I was going to show you how I was going to do that and add some more to this. I didn't mean for the train to have bloody snow. It's just that that's what happened. I had a different idea for the red that was going to be in that snow, and then when it started looking like blood instead of shadow like what I wanted it to look like, I was like, oh, let's do that, and that's what launched the whole blood in the snow. So I'm going to start down here. For one thing, I am coloring the snowflakes in with a white gel pen. Even though it's white on white, the white gel pen is whiter than the white of this paper, so it it shows up. Plus it matches the rest of the snow that I've done. We're gonna do, this has already got white gel pen on it. So let's start at the beginning. Let's move up. We'll ignore the blood for now because I want to get to that point. I want to show you how we get to that point. Okay, so I took my lightest gray is what I did because I'm just trying to figure out where I want it. And I know that there should be shadows on this side, right? Because that's a mound and this is a mound. So shadows on this side, and he fell in the snow, so there's probably shadows. There's probably some darkness here. Also, though, what I like to do, which doesn't make any sense, is put a little bit of shadow on the light side too, and I'll show you why. I just like how, I think all I'm doing is moving the edge of the snow back a bit, because then I go over the lines with a white gel pen, and I really like the way that looks. So easy peasy lemon squeezy. I kind of go over on this side and then I go over on this side. You can just work on the shadow side and not do the other side, but for this, and sometimes I do. If I'm looking at a field, like a big expanse of mounds of snow, I would just do the back sides of all the hills to show shadow, but this is a little bit different. There we go. And see how easy this is? Just add some color to it. This is how we're starting. Okay, and then I want to do, if I go out of shot a little bit, I'm just doing the same thing up here. Okay, I've got, oops, there's one right there that I missed. Boop, beep. Okay, so all the snow has been gone over now. I got you zoomed way in so you can see. Then what I usually do is, what I did do on the other side was I went straight in with my white gel pen and did that and then called it good. Then I went through and did some more shading. This time, I think I'm going to do a little bit more shading first. Doesn't matter. Because as you saw, this was already had the white gel pen and we worked with it. I think I'm going to do a little bit more shading with the light one. Because I know from the right-hand side that I did like shading in here. I added more shading. I learned that just now on screen with you, that I liked more shading here. So I'm going to go ahead and do it. Just some shading along here. And I'm going to bring you out a little bit so you can see the whole thing. I don't actually make those sound effects. Well, not too much. A little bit when I'm coloring by myself. Mostly I'm watching your videos, so I'm quiet. And I'm going to extend the gray down a little bit from the edge. Now, Paula sent me hers, and she colored it like he's in a cave. So this is dirt mounds, not snow. I didn't even think about that. That's what's cool about buddy coloring is I didn't even think about, and you could, and to kind of not be such a harsh line, you can blend it, but we're going to be going over it. So there'll be some different, I'm not blending it too, I'm not flicky too much because I know I'm going to probably go over it more and more. But you can flicky and make it look like blend in better. Not have such a harsh line. Let's flicky a little bit here. Yeah, and so buddy coloring with someone can give you new ideas. I do like to share as we go along because it's fun. It's fun to talk to the person about their process, about what they're doing, give them encouragement, maybe even some little advice if they get stuck. Most of the time it's me getting stuck or sending a picture of what is this that's circled. Which saved me a huge embarrassment with the buddy color recently with Mindy at Coloring Cats with Orchids. I was about to just sort of color something as, I don't know what I was going to color. And then I looked at her page that she had sent me, and it was the arm of a chair. If I hadn't checked that, that chair would have had no arm, and that weird pillow-like oblong shape thing would have no point in my page. I was so glad I checked with her. Of course, this would have shadows here. As you notice, I'm not, the trick with alcohol markers I've found is not to be too precise. I mean, not for my style of coloring, I'm not too precise. Alcohol ink is its own entity. It has a personality. If you use it as it is intended on slicker surfaces like Yupo and glass and things like that, it moves, and you never know what's going to happen. So it's a medium with its own personality, and so you just got to be loose with it. It's my first love. It's the medium I know the most about because I used to do Yupo paintings. Yupo is a type of paper made out of plastic, and it works really well with alcohol ink markers. They move on it before it dries, and it's lovely. Okay, so now we have a lot of light shading. Looks pretty kind of like the other side. We're getting kind of even. I kind of liked going over the white gel pen, so I'm thinking about doing the white gel pen now. It's your preference what you want to do, and I use not that one, that's Languo. I use, let me get it, found it, and it's also like a week later. I was just searching for my Pandafly, which is my very, very favorite white gel pen. It goes over everything. And I got distracted, and then I went on to other things and other videos and totally set this one aside. So here we are, we're back, and we are going to go over the lines. Now, what I like to do is have a piece of paper right here that I can clean off easily. Where's my paper pad? Oh, I have a little paper pad here. And this is what I use to like clean off my nib if I need to. I also just clean it off like that because it is gel. So the gel gets dried on the ends and you have to clean it. But as long as you do that, it's great. I'm gonna start at the top so I don't smear anything, and I'm gonna bring you in. And we decided that, or I decided that I'm going to go over the lines. I have a different book underneath me stabilizing it today. And because that's a string. Because when I went over the lines before, I usually do this at the end, and I thought I was done. And then on screen with you, I decided I wanted to darken it on the other side. So I had to find ways to go over the white gel pen, and that's when I practiced a new technique of dabbing, right? And that looked really well. Now the white gel pen is magic. especially if you have a good one like Panda Fly that just goes over everything. It has the ability to completely make your page. So this page, this snow didn't make any sense with me just putting shading on these black lines. But I'm actually whiting out this, aren't I? Yeah, I did it on the other side too, because I didn't like this black line staring at me. But once you put the white on, it's like your picture comes to life. It's like, okay, now it's making sense. Because this down here is, it's quite ugly. And that's what I meant by when I said your page goes through many ugly stages. It does. It's not beautiful the majority of the time. You have to use your imagination with what it's going to look like. And sometimes, often, it doesn't turn out the way we wanted it to look like. And then we bring that up in our videos and we're a little disappointed in the page. But if you understand art can, art has a mind of its own too. And art just sometimes, you can't control it. Sometimes it just, other things happen. And maybe those other things that happened could help you open your mind to other possibilities. I mean, look at it objectively and say, hey, that's not so bad. Like down here with the train and the blood that I was talking about, that was not at all what I wanted it to look like. But then I went, oh, hey, bloody snow? Let's figure this one out. That would be kind of cool. And I just played and made it bloody, and we're going to do that. And now I know how to do it. But even if you never make bloody snow, you can use these techniques to just make regular snow. And like I said before, instead of gray, you could do pinks and blues and yellows, make it reflect the stars or a light source. Basically, snow is just reflections of other things. But since he's in a cave, what I thought, nothing's really reflecting. So I've just put shadows in to give it some depth. And like I said at the beginning, I used cool grays because that's what works for my monster. Pinks, he's not a pink and blue guy. He's not a pastel guy. All right, let's bring you out just a little bit. And all we have is this last one in the side, see? Whoop, 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 whoop. And see, I can feel that there's gel sticking on it. It just glides so well. This is such a good pen. And I'm oh, see? This is what I do, because I didn't let it dry. I stuck my hand in it. I do that. I'm going to probably have to let this dry to put a second coat on it. Gel pens can, well, it seems to be working. If you want to do a second layer on gel pens, it's always tricky, but if you try to do it when they're still wet, you just sort of push the gel ink around. But that worked out pretty well. Now, don't put your hand in it, Candice. I'm so bad about that. That's why I usually do 2 pages at once. So I'll let one dry. Otherwise, I'll keep going into it. I'm looking at the skulls. What's the difference? Oh, I went over them with a Languo gel pen. One of those little tiny ones that take out the lines. Okay, not the white. Okay, wanted to make sure. Usually I do the whole element all at once, like I would do all the snow and then I'd do all the skulls. But I wanted to practice first before to see if I even had anything to offer to you as a tutorial on snow. I've been asked by many people to show how to do snow. And it's going to be different every page. It depends on the feel of the page and how the snow is drawn. But the basic tenets is to put some shadow in. You got to put some shadow in and then take out the lines. That's kind of the basics. Now, what colors you use depends on your page and how many shadows you put in, and just do it until you feel it's done, basically. Okay, I'm gonna let this dry real good so I don't smear it again, and I'm gonna get that darker gray, because remember, we just shaded it, well, and the lighter for blending, but we put light shadows in, but we really liked the darker shadows too here, so I'm gonna do that on this side. All right, thank you, I'll be right back. So if I am working on a page and I know I'm going to be getting back to it soon, I save all the markers and everything that I'm using for a page in a bag. And I just wanted to show you this cute bag. It's got one of those weird diagonal zippers. And this is what I was keeping the pens that I'm using for this page in. Isn't that fun? I got it off Temu. It holds a lot. It's really big. See, and then it flattens out like this. So that's the pens that I've been using. So here's the, but if I was going to leave this for a long time, I would put those pens back and just write down and put a little note in here, in theory. Okay, so we've used the N2, that was the light shading, and now we're going to do like we did on the right side with some dark shading, and we're also going to blend it back in with the lighter one. So let's bring you in just a little bit. And you're gonna always see me do that. All right, let's put in some darker shading up above. I'm kind of going around the snow circles just to make my life a little easier. I don't have to, because the panda fly will sit on top of it. Let's put some right here and right here. Okay. I noticed when I was using one of these, it was sort of dry, so I think that's where I got sidetracked. I filled the pen, cleaned up the pen a little bit, and then, I don't know, saw another book I wanted to look at, or, see, I love my books. I recently saw someone who was considering unhauling books that she hadn't touched. And before you do that, but she kept saying, oh, but it's so cute, I like it. We don't have to color in our coloring books to enjoy them. Did you know that? You can just enjoy them. Ooh, let's do some flickies. Flicky, 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 flicky. Flicky, 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 flicky. Just, I'm using a very light touch because it feels like awful stark. I wanted to just blend it in a little bit. Is it looking like that? Sort of. This is the lighter color. Is it? Yes. Well, it'll blend. When in the book reading world, when people read a book, they enjoy it. Do they then just toss it when they're done? No, they put it back on their shelf. They may never read it again, ever. They just like the look of it. They like to look at it. We're sort of opposite of that. We actually will use our books again, but what if we don't want to? We just like the look of it. We just like to see it. We just like to, at least we take it down and look through it. I mean, a person who collects books probably isn't ever gonna, just sit down and read that again. They may once, but they're not just gonna take it down often throughout the year and enjoy its beauty like we do. Before I go to bed, I take 2 of my coloring books to bed that I just want to look through, and I enjoy them. They're art. They're someone's art, because I don't do AI. I do only artists with the social media presence that I can verify are human. I do quite a bit of research before I buy a book. So this is artwork, someone's artwork. And why wouldn't we want to just look through it sometimes and enjoy it without coloring it? Maybe it's somebody's art you like, you just don't see yourself coloring it. So I don't use that as a barometer for getting rid of books. Now, if I've never colored in it and I never take it out to look at it, like I always kind of just go, when I see it, then I will destash. because then it's not doing anything but taking up space. I'm not using it for any reason at all. Okay, you see what I'm doing? Dark then light, just blending it in. Poor guy on his head. It's getting pretty. And see how fast this is? This is really fast. And this is a lot of snow. Most pages don't have quite this much snow unless it's just a snow field. Snow to color snow, you're just basically coloring the shadows. That's all you're doing, if I haven't made that clear. You're not actually coloring the snow. You're just coloring the shadows. Now, if your paper's not white, then that's a problem. But, I mean, even cream colored papers are fine. You can just leave the snow the color of the page. But if it's like what's that one that's brownish, the brownish ones, that usually you have to have printed it out. I don't know any coloring books that come with like a sepia toned paper. And even if a lot of things are black in the page, like it's maybe one of R.J. Hampson's Duplicates with a Difference, where there's a lot of black background, the snow is still always white. So you still have a chance to play. So you don't have to consider this playing. You don't have to dread snow. Snow's easy, and it's up to your interpretation. And it can always be fixed. If it gets too dark or whatever, you can always do something to it. I tend to just embrace it and try to make it look intentional. Maybe make it more dark. Look like, yeah, I meant to do that. But I've also noticed that that's snow on top of the train. Now see, I just put black on the snow, like really dark stuff. But I'm going to make it look intentional now. But it's such a small element, I doubt anybody will even notice. I think that would be shaded. That's the dark one. Let's do the light one, and we'll dab this snow. Dab, 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 dab. Doesn't really show up, does it? Let's do darker. Dab, 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 dab. Because he's now in dirty snow. Make this darker. Now we're down to where I'm like defining things. And we're through the bloody snow. We're almost done with the shading stuff. This isn't my favorite. Putting shadows is not my favorite coloring, but it's probably the most important coloring you do on your page. It's what actually shapes the page, is where the shadows are. It's what makes your page look three-dimensional and believable and not flat. Now, I do flat coloring? Oh yeah, all the time. But not in a mythogoria or a mythographic. Okay, the last thing to do with this snow, the two last things, the very last thing I'm going to do is go over the snow with the white gel pen. Let's look at both sides together and see if they're, sorry I bumped you. Yeah, I think they're looking very similar. I did more flicky on this side, but I think it'll work out once we get the snow in and stuff. It'll be fine. We did the outline, I did the outline of the skulls, so that's something that'll need to dry too. So I'll do that one with the gel pen last. Let's do some blood. Okay, this was a total accident. I had a couple, did I do, what was the browns for? Oh, that's for like this. I covered up some lines in the ornaments. The ornaments are just alcohol marker, but then I covered lines with with one of these Language gel pens. Don't you love these? Does everyone have these now? If you don't, this is probably my most important medium that I have now. Okay, so that's for the brown. So I got my red out. I got a red out. I had a darker red too. Oh, that was this. Okay, so we tried some different things. I think I tried it just with alcohol markers. Let's see. And I had a couple reds, I know, but this was one of them. Yeah, this one's really bloody. So what I did was I kind of dabbed it on. This is layers and layers, and I hadn't quite done the layers here. And see, that's, you know, a bit really bloody. And a little too dark contrast, but we're going to do layers. How far does the blood go up on this side? Clear up there? Okay, well, maybe we'll do some blood right here. Okay, and then I let that dry. And while I'm letting that dry, let's do a skull. Did I already get it out? No. Let's do a Language skull. These sometimes need to warm up. My cabin is very cold, so sometimes it takes a bit for, no, the ink's coming right out. And what I did was I just went over all the black lines of the skull with this kind of, I think this is one of the grays, advanced gray, but it's a greenish gray. And when it dries, I don't know if you noticed this, but these Language pens dry much, much lighter than they go down initially. So it's good to have a swatch chart for these so that you can pick the right color. I have a swatch chart because, well, and I don't use it often because I'm lazy, but I often get into trouble with my Languages because when they dry, I'm like, oh, that doesn't work at all. And then I have to try going over them with the right color. So the swatch sheet would be better if I would just get out my swatch book. Oops, see, I have tremors and jerky hands, and I just did a whoop right there, but I'm just going to color it in a little bit more and make it look like it's meant to be. I don't think anybody will notice that. And I'm very tremory today. So, but coloring, you know, I embrace that my coloring's not perfect, and it's not, because I'm gonna, you know, it would be stressful for me to really try to stabilize my hand and keep it from doing anything weird. I don't know if I could even do it. All right. I really just don't want any of these black on here. When this dries, see, it dried over here and you can't even really see it anymore, and I like that. I like that. I want it to just look like bones in the snow. Speaking of skulls, I subscribe to Ghost Theory, which is a fantastic ghost paranormal hunting YouTube channel, and they're very funny. English, they've got dry British humor, but even if nothing, they're very real, and even if nothing ever happens, which a lot of them, nothing happens, they're funny to watch. And I just found out from their channel that it was a thing in old England to bury hundreds of horse skulls underneath musical taverns where they have music, because it would make a resonance inside the tavern. The music would sound better because it would bounce off those skulls in the ground. Did you know that? There were several pubs that were built with hundreds of horse skulls. Why did it have to be horses? I don't know. Was it just that they had plenty of that around? Interesting, huh? I now want to research it. Could you imagine going to a concert and they've got a bunch of, like, oh, we heard this was a thing in England, and they just threw some horse skulls in there? Okay. That's done. Now, I think we're dry enough down here. So the blood becomes more and more realistic the more and more layers you put on it. So I'm now dabbing the white gel pen on it in places. And sometimes you're like, Candice, what are you doing? You're completely covering that red. But this was something I found out through accident on this page, that it really makes it realistic. It's very realistic on the other side. And even just like smearing the white a little bit, so it's a little smeary, starts making it look even. But you have to, again, trust the process that this layering is going to work. And I think layering is a trick we all need to remember, because layering can fix a problem too. You're like, okay, well, maybe I'll just layer things on top of that and see what happens. And usually your problem gets fixed. While this dries, we're gonna do the snowflakes, because I want to probably do more layers of this. I'll show you the other side, what it looks like. You just want lots of layers. See what it looks like there? And I smeared it some. Yeah. Smeary is good. Smeary is good. Let's start doing some of these snowflakes. Look at that. Aren't these panda flies freaking amazing? They go over everything. They're the only white pen I use anymore. Yeah, they're just really, really good. Now, like I said earlier in the video, I do even the ones that are on white, because you can see them. The gel pen reflects light, and it's a bit wider than the paper is, so you can see them. And it just adds to that realism with the snow falling. And plus, kind of breaks up your shadows a bit. So it makes that even more realistic. And you can use this time to go over your already dried lines if you need to. Are you guys enjoying this video? I hope so. Usually when I color, I just show you bits and pieces and I do it in fast speed. But this is like my second tutorial that I've ever done. I mean, I only think my tutorials are worthwhile if I discover something that's interesting. Or if someone asks and I actually know how to do it. I've been asked to show things that I don't know how to do myself, so I just let them know, I don't know. Sorry, I've been way out of it. I just play until I figure it out. Like the whole pages that show an image that's up on top of the water and that's under the water, that you can also smear these a little bit. That was smeared too much, but I don't know how to do that, but I keep trying. I have a lot of very strange looking pages. It didn't really work out, but it doesn't matter, because there's always another page. Just turn the page. Alrighty. Did I do these? No, I don't think I did I don't know. I can't tell. This white is so perfect. I can't tell if I did these. I don't think so, because that one wasn't done. Whoops. And if you don't get it perfectly round, you make the snowball bigger. This is some snow that I put on too early, and it picked up some of that alcohol marker that wasn't dry yet. And here's also your opportunity to make these snowballs round again, because sometimes I've colored and gone into them and made them look kind of funky. Don't get your hand in it. Okay. All right. So I think I'd like to do one more layer down there in the snow. And then I think my tutorial's going to be done. Because I'm going to kind of smear it a little bit. My problem is I'll figure out something, I'll accidentally stumble upon something that looks good, and then I won't remember how I did it. At least I'll remember this one because it's on video. All right, and we're gonna do one more white, but I think I'm gonna go on it when it's kind of wet. See what happens. Because I kind of forgot how I did it on the other side. There we go. Yeah, that looks good. Because to make it look realistic, it's gonna be kind of smeary, right? I've also found that I need to remember that I can't smear with the same finger all the time, because that finger gets covered in gel until I wash it. Just playing, trying different things, but the layering really helps to make it look more realistic. And of course, you can only do this on paper that can handle it. But I don't know, I think if you're careful, even an Amazon printed page could handle stuff like this. All right, I don't want it to get too pink, but how does that look compared to the other side? Because I really liked the other side. I think it's pretty good. I got a little bit more white smeary on this side. I think I just went out like this and made it more like bigger. I think I did something like that. I'm not sure. I'm not exactly sure how I got that really neat smearing look. Unless I went like this. I don't know. But the trick is you keep going until you stop. Does that make sense? You just keep going until it's right. Until it's right for you. Or until you're done with the page and you're just going to move on. You're just going to turn the page and find another. Because let's turn the page. That's a cool page. Yes, I want to do that. We have more pages than we're going to be able to do in our lifetime. We just have to face that. We're going to die having not done some pages that we really wanted to do. So don't fret. Just turn the page. All right. I'm going to call that done for now and let it dry and see how it looks. But that's kind of what I did over here. And let's compare the snow on each side. Boop, boopy doop. Okay, that's looking pretty good. I think the shadows look pretty good. So what do you guys think? Can you think you can do it? Just take a couple alcohol markers. Water-based markers will work too. Any marker that just sort of spreads a little bit and is soft. Yeah, I think alcohol-based or water-based markers. I don't know if, I mean, you could get this look with pencil too, but why? If you have a single-sided page, do it fast. And I think it looks better with markers than with pencil, because you do kind of want it to look like it's soaked in, you know, like it's just part of the snow. And the marker just soaks into the page and just gives you that nice effect. So I'm going to finish my Krampus and then send it to my buddy. It's very late, but she's a very understanding person. And she is giving me the grace to finish it the way I like it. I don't have much left to do, but these ornaments seem to take me a while. I get bored and have to do something else. So I'll just do that in my own time, probably another night. All right. Thank you for watching my spooky snow tutorial, Bloody Snow. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thanks for visiting. Bye. I love you.